And we got new people. We've got Avi this week. Oof.
Hey guys.
Wait. Okay, I'll do this after.
What? Now we all want to know.
Well, no, you're just gonna be like, meh.
No, I'll be really kind to you about it. Whatever.
I know. Okay. I know, Scott, you're a winter person. Angela, you're also a winter person. But I'm going to do some miles in the snow this weekend, and I'm really nervous about all the snow and my feet getting wet because I don't have any like waterproof boots except for my like Sorels, and they're not like shoes. Do I put baggies over my feet? Will that help?
Because then your feet will sweat.
I know.
And then it'll be, I mean,
just as bad, right?
I just wear smart wool or merino wool socks. I mean, I wear them all year round, but my feet get a little bit warm and they sweat a little or something. I mean, I've never had a problem with trench foot.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I just wear, I mean, at like when the year it was the freaking polar vortex at Tuscobia a few years ago, I just had on my heavier merino wool socks and trail shoes.
I'm not worried about them getting cold. Well, maybe. I'm worried about the wet. Like the snow is like 6 inches deep on the trail.
I find that when my merino wool socks are wet, it wicks the wet. Like it doesn't make my feet wet and cold. I don't know.
Okay. Yes, Scott.
I said today it's 6 inches of snow.
And then another like 4 inches on Friday.
She's doing like weather catastrophization right now, like in the ramp up to the race. Like it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet, it's going to snow. Let me tell you something. Done a lot of winter ultras, and none of them were exactly what I thought it was going to be 2 days before.
I was going to say, like, what were you going to do with St. Croix like 2 years ago or whatever when you were supposed to go?
Yeah.
Well, I think that was different because it was cold. And so I'm not really worried about like the wet snow as much. Like this is going to be like 31, 30 degrees, 32 with like rain and like wet heavy snow.
Oh no. Yeah, that's tough. Like that's the kind of weather I get around here all the time. And I hate it because I'm cold intolerant and I'm a big weenie in the snow. But also like it's really hard to plan for because it's right at that small range where it's like warm enough to be soggy, but like bone chilling cold still.
Yeah.
Well, it says high of 34 and low of 19. So that means it's probably going to be like
with like rain and snow and sleet and shit.
There's snow on Friday and nothing on Saturday.
Well, if it's 34, the snow will not be snow.
Yeah, well. If you go outside and it turns 34, all the snow doesn't go away.
No. I know, but what's
falling
cold,
from the sky? There's ice under the snow. It's packed down. And 34, that's the high, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be that temperature for like a minute in the middle of the day. And the rest of the day is going to be 30.
You will be fine. It will be okay.
Just hope that it's like only 25 degrees the whole day and it'll be fine.
It will be. All right. Illusions. That was my book. I picked it. It's one of my all-time favorite books. I've read it a whole bunch of times.
I could see where you would want to read it a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of deep wisdom in there.
You could like think a lot really hard about it or just like not at all and just keep reading. But
whose Desert Island book was this?
I don't recall.
I don't know.
You would think I would have gotten excited because it was a book that I loved. But
I know, me too. And I cannot remember for the life of me who picked it.
Seems like it was an early one.
I think so.
I'll look at the sheet while you guys are talking about it and see if I can figure it out. I probably should have put it in the show notes.
It took me a minute to realize that the Messiah's like got powers. I guess I don't really know what a Messiah is, so that's maybe my first problem.
It took you a minute to realize he had powers. Is that what you said?
I mean, like, maybe not powers, but like he was like flying a plane that he never had to fuel, or I don't know. It was just like I didn't. Like I said, I think understanding. I don't understand what a Messiah is, or is supposed to be, or was, and I didn't Google it either.
Like this book's interpretation of quote Messiah.
Yeah.
I just
I
figured
had never read the
Messiah
book before.
Jesus, right?
Is that
Yeah.
it?
Well, not necessarily Jesus. I mean,
Well, when you
Jesus
think of
or
Messiah, you think of like the Savior, right?
yeah, like someone that's going to come and save everybody.
Right. And so that in modern religion usually means who else but Jesus?
Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Jedis. I kept thinking of them as Jedis, but I'm kind of a nerd too, so.
The Jedis are awesome, and I think that's a pretty good parallel.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Well, I think the implication of the book was that he had some spiritual knowledge or some sensitivity, some awareness of truth that could benefit other people, and that other people would be drawn to and look to for answers.
Oh no, so I'm not a religious person, so I kind of took it as like he gave him the Messiah book, right? The little thing of wisdom, essentially. And it was really interesting because it was basically him saying, well, here's this guy that has to fuel his plane, has to fix his plane, but I'm going to give him this book and he's going to get his mind expanded. And so even though he's not, a Messiah, he can go and reach greater, higher planes of mental clarity and thinking and wisdom that, so anybody could be a Messiah if they wanted to, just by, learning more and thinking outside the box and getting out of that mindset.
But I think didn't he talk about how he had kind of known him in a previous existence or something like that? So he already had the capacity. It wasn't anybody, but he had the capacity.
Right, that they
And
were
this guy
friends in a
already knew
previous
he was
life or
one.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that Will Smith movie where he was like a superhero, but he was drunk
right.
all?
Hancock.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought about.
Yeah, I could see it like that.
Didn't see it.
Oh, that's good. But yeah, certainly the implication of the book is that this is within everyone's ability. There's no special power that he had. He just had an awakening, or he had that he was able to tap into it where other people are bound to their illusions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of interpreted it as it had like a lot of reincarnation type aspects. Like these people's spirits were choosing to whatever life it was that they needed in order to learn their lessons.
Anybody not like the book?
Hey. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it.
Iffy. I mean, Oak Miller, we know you have no taste. C. RB's C. Going to hike with Hunter and John Sharp. Why didn't you like it? What didn't you like about it?
It just wasn't it didn't jive with me very well. Like, blah. I didn't find it interesting.
Who knows? Maybe maybe I should hold on. I was going to go put it in a free library, but maybe I'll hold on to it. Just like my state of mind, but I felt like I couldn't relate to like the fact that we could all, I got that we should all be able to have these powers. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I can't go walk over to the lake and walk across the lake because I think it's solid. And I got really like stuck on that. And then it made me kind of like, I don't know if I just wasn't in the right mindset, but I was like, well, this isn't realistic.
I mean, that's more of a, you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it. Not like in the literal sense, but like, you know, I don't, you know, someone saying I could never run a half marathon or whatever. It's all about your mindset. Mind do it, you can do it. Think you can walk on water, just do it.
I think it's about your perceptions. Like it says, you know, illusions, but perceptions are a big part of it. Like how you see things, how you see you. The world is a construct you made around yourself, and how you interact with that.
Making all that noise.
I think it's okay.
Well, Scott, just to pick on you because you mentioned that you found it so powerful and meaningful. What specifically in it was actionable for you? Like, what did you get out of it?
Well,
practically speaking,
I'm always fascinated with the idea of reluctant heroes. I think that stories about reluctant heroes are pretty cool. And I also think like one of the it was Oak Miller because I muted him and now it's quiet. So there you go. We can unmute him too if he wants. The other thing is that I kind of took it as how would you feel about life, or how would you approach life if you had powers, or if you were a messiah, like that kind of thing, that, you know, we're restricted by all these things in our head. And what if they just weren't true? What if we didn't need to worry about getting more gas, or worry about cleaning the plane, or, you know, like what if we could live our life like that, like a messiah? Would we do things differently?
I was really stuck on the whole part about is. You know how he talked a lot about what is IS. And
Yeah.
me, it was kind of like a handbook for ultra running, actually. Not the what if and the oh no and the crap that could happen if I do this or if I forget that. It's just the is. And the power that you have if you exist in the moment during your race rather than letting everything else sort of bog you down. Oh my gosh, I have a blister, my race is over. No, stop, do what you got to do. You can take care of it. Very little is race ending. And so I don't know, I was reading it in that context.
Ooh, I like it.
So Holly, stop worrying.
Okay.
I liked a lot of the passages that were from the handbook.
I did
like
too.
A lot of them. I mean, some of them were like a little trite and you're like, oh, whatever. But most of them are just really awesome nuggets of wisdom that you could apply to, you know, lots of different things. Like ultra running is a really great example. Just tough times or times of confusion. I don't know. I love this book. The first time I read it, I was like 19, and I have loved it every single time I've read it. It's one of my favorite books, so I was thrilled to see this on the list.
I think this will probably become like one of those books that I read once a year, just because I enjoyed it a lot. And I had a lot of trouble because I only let myself read like one chapter every morning when I had my coffee. And so it was really hard to be like, all right, that's all I'm reading today. Because that one's is just one you can devour it, but you want to savor it because there's so many good nuggets that you want to absorb.
Can you imagine how exhausting it would be for you to be the Messiah and everybody's looking to you, and the fact that this guy would fly elsewhere all the time because the crowds would come? I mean, being on stage, that's got to be like the worst thing your whole life, is just going from one thing to another. I would find that exhausting.
But do you feel like he kind of did it to himself sometimes, like he liked it because, you know, he knew that if he healed someone, the crowd would be like, oh my God, and rush him. And he did that at least once. So it's almost like there's an addiction to it a little bit on behalf of him.
I agree with that.
Maybe not necessarily an addiction, but like he likes help people or wants to do good, but also finds it overwhelming and wants to do his own thing and remain private. I know there's definitely like conflict there between, you know, what he wants.
Well, he just wanted to do what he wanted to do. You know, I mean, like at the end of the book,
True.
he's like, you know, you do what you want to do. You don't have to, you know, you don't have limits.
Right. Yeah. I was unconvinced by how he ended it. You know, I mean, I understand that he wanted to leave in a dramatic fashion, and he was kind of playing it up a little bit. But I don't know. I would imagine a different kind of suicide, if you will. Like he didn't engage, like the people on the radio show, like he didn't engage with them in a meaningful way. I thought like he was just antagonistic, I thought.
But I feel like that kind of goes back to what someone was saying about how exhausted he must be, like living this life, constantly running away. So I think at the end he was just like, fuck it, why should I explain myself to you guys? And I don't know, I felt like when you think about it that way, like how he must be so sick of all this, I feel like the ending made sense.
So I highlighted one passage from the book because it actually kind of made me think of the type of people we kind of are as a group. Problems are not jokes and games to the people who come to you unless they are highly advanced themselves and that sort know their own Messiah. Because we're just the type of group that all of our problems we realize aren't that serious, and we make jokes and games out of all of it.
There's a lot of wisdom in this book. He's a wise guy, and his other books are all really good. Like I think I probably read like 6 of his books. And there's a lot of flying, and then there's a lot about him and his wife. He has this kind of goofy thing that they can have dreams together and go on trips. So like they decide before they go to bed where they're going to go, and they go places together and they experience them together in their dreams. It's kind of a weird thing, but every book he's written is pretty good too. So I just really liked it.
Well, I cheated, and I found actually him reading it on YouTube.
Whole book?
And yeah, it was I was just kind of like, well, it's like had to cram, and it's like, oh wow, here's an edition that has him actually reading it. So
I'm gonna have to listen to that. That sounds awesome.
He also wrote this book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, that was a big thing with in the 70s. And I think Neil Diamond did a song about it or did like a spoken word thing about it. It's kind of trippy. As a side note.
That night, I finished it the next day. And then I had to message Scott right away. And I was like, oh my God, I love this book. And then I messaged a friend of mine who I figured would appreciate the book. I'm like, oh my God, I just read this book. You have to read this book. And he immediately responds to me in the email with multiple quotes from the book. And then he's like, and you got to read this book, and you have to read this book. And here I thought I was going to share this big, new thing and give somebody a new book to read. He had already read it, plus multiple other books of his.
You know what really got me is the very end. It says everything in this book may be wrong.
Right.
I love
I
that.
was curious what you guys thought about that. As far as I thought he was kind of messing with the reader a little bit, opening everything up to your own imagination, just like the entire book is kind of open to your imagination. To see, are you personally the Messiah or have the ability to be a Messiah in your own life? Or is this just opening everything up more to debate? What do you guys think about that? That's what kind of, I think I finished it. It was like 1 a.m, after reading for about an hour and a half or so. And I saw that everything in this book may be wrong. That kept me up for another little bit trying to think about that.
Well,
Yeah, man, from my hemispherics, you got two journeys here. One of the Messiah and one of the student. As the student becomes the Messiah as we progress through this thing, and he teaches them so much, but you can only teach them to a point. And I think at the end there, when he's like, "Hey, I've kind of given you some breadcrumbs, but at the end of the day, this could be all bullshit, dude, and I'm gonna go out in a glorious blaze." Gets that, gets shot, and now it's like, "Hey, man, over to you." But as much as I'm the master, it's kind of like a phoenix rising. Decide your own destiny, because I might be full of BS. So over to you, man. You've kind of broken down the constructs of what was limiting you in the past, and now, hey, man, I've guided you so far, but over to you, and now you got to write your own book.
I told Scott that it reminded me of him. That just reading the book, and I feel like with a lot of things, even whether it's serious or not, the way that Scott interviews people and then has conversations with the nation or whoever, that he, and I felt like that in the book, that it was just constantly being challenged about what your perceptions are, and how you can push yourself and what you believe and how you change what you believe. And then that being at the end just kind of put the icing on it, because I was like, oh, that's totally something Scott would say. I'll leave it to you, and you just have to think it through on your own.
I agree. I thought of Scott at towards the end. I was thinking that this is definitely a Scott book, and I can see why it's his favorite.
And it was a Jada favorite before, right?
Oh yes, I've loved this book for many years.
All right. Well, I can't figure out who picked it. So they picked London Calling as their album, and Grandma's Boy as their movie.
So last time after the last book club, when I was trying to find out who picked Great Expectations, I literally went to the Meet the Nations and listened to the last 5 minutes of 10 different episodes.
Oh my.
Because they're not in exactly the right order, because there's some people that pick multiples, and so they're not in the right order at all. So yeah, it takes some doing to figure out.
We didn't know we were going to do this when I started the spreadsheet.
Have we had one yet that someone admitted that they picked that book for their Desert Island book?
For this one?
Yeah, for the book club. Have we read one that someone said, oh yeah, that was my Desert Island pick?
No.
No, because Great Expectations was Jimmy Dean Freeman.
Oh.
Who picked Cannery Row? I thought we found out who picked Cannery Row. I can't remember who it was, though. Because my memory is shit.
It was Angela, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was Angelo.
No, she picked for us to read. She started the book club by picking it. But
yeah, it's pretty far down.
Wait, was it? Oak, what was your book?
The Great Bridge.
Okay.
Never pick it.
Who picked Brave New World?
I remember in the Nation we were shaming somebody for one of their choices.
I think it
I
was
can't
Brave
remember
New
what book it
World.
was, what person it was.
Was it John Sharp's? What did he pick? Old Man in the Sea?
Yeah, if John Sharp would have picked Hemingway or that
A horse
cowboy
book?
book guy.
Black Stallion.
No, not Black Stallion. The guy that rode all the pretty horses, and I don't remember who that guy is.
And let's be honest, we shame so many different people. It's hard to keep up with the shaming.
So it seems like, except for kind of this one, and I haven't been a part of this before, but at least from the Slack conversations that before, like nobody's enjoyed any of the books up to like maybe this point. Just might be that might just be the vocal majority.
Great Expectations was
minority.
rough until we got like halfway through. Then it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
and at
Great
least half of us
Expectations.
did not get halfway through, so we just didn't like it.
Brave New World was just weird.
Oh, Brave New World was so fucked up. I enjoyed how messed up it was.
That's like
too.
one of my favorite books from when I was a teenager. So
Like, yeah.
I enjoyed it, but also looking at it through the lens of, wow, this book is really fucked up and I can't believe I read it back then.
Yeah, Brave New World, like, I don't know that I would want to read it again, but it was thought-provoking, and I was glad that I read it at the end. But it was definitely not like a, well, let's read that once a year type of a situation.
Yeah, my memory retention is awful, but I had to read both those books like in high school, Great Expectations and Brave New World. We had to read Brave New World back to back with 1984 and like compare them. But I can't remember like anything about any three of those books really, except for Brave New World and 1984 being dystopian. That's about it.
Brave
Big
New World is
Brother.
about drugs and flogging.
Yeah.
Kyle must have went to a really advanced high school, man.
Seriously.
They put the screws to him.
We didn't have books in our
AP
high school.
English.
Oh, the AP stuff.
John Sharp picked Old Man in the Sea, Cool Hand Luke, and Van Morrison Astral Ways, or Astral Weeks. So that was his pick.
So brush up on all of those, Oak, so you can talk to them.
I think there's going to be plenty to talk about. Like it'll just be half Hunter rambling.
When is this happening?
I leave in a week.
Oh.
Just remember when you're done that I've spent twice as much that you just did of time walking with John Sharp, and every inch that I've walked with him has been in a fucking boring, nothing to see situation. Like you're gonna have views and stuff. I walked with John Sharp for 2 days on a frontage road next to a freeway, just doing nothing.
Hunter asked him tonight. He was like, "So John, do you have all the reservations?" John's like, "There's no reservations yet."
It's gonna be interesting.
Wait, didn't you were the one who said today you make your reservations like a year out, right?
So I'm not. This isn't my. I'm the guy hanging on to the coattails on this one.
So, but it doesn't give you anxiety then to go on this totally unplanned.
This that's the least part of the anxiety with this one.
The snacks are number one.
Snacks are number one.
Wow, good reason.
Are you not
Scotty,
gonna
you
have
should do a
that?
check-in show with those guys. That would be.
Oh, you guys got to call. You guys got to find like Wi-Fi and call me up or something. Oh my god.
We're gonna have SIM cards, so we'll be all right.
Is there not going to be snacks?
Oh, there's gonna be snacks. Hunter was freaking out because I was like, Hunter, I found out that like there's like 12 different flavors of Tang there, and he's like, what the hell is Tang? And I was like, I need all 12.
Yeah, so you're gonna have one guy who wants to get all 12 flavors of Tang, and then you're gonna have John Sharp going, "That's dumb as hell. Fuck that. That's stupid. We're not doing that." You know.
I don't know what the hell Tang is, but no.
It's Kool-Aid for astronauts.
Yeah, I mean, I know what it is, but John Sharp won't, and he won't give a fuck, and he
Oh,
won't care at all. I spent like, how long was our run, Scott? 8 miles maybe with John Sharp, and I probably wanted to kill him after that. So
I was gonna say I spent those same 8 miles with you guys, and the amount of time I spent conversing with John Sharp was about 0 because every time you looked behind us, he wasn't there.
He was walking his own speed and doing his own thing.
Just wanders off trail into the woods. I'm just gonna go check this out. All right.
All right. Well, George is the next picker. So I told him he's picking the next book, and he's looked at the list, and he's going to announce the next book we're going to read is
3 Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. The guy's so cool that he's got 2 first names. And 1889 humor, English satirist. So strap it on and be ready for that one. 303 pages, depending on what version you get.
I've read it.
303 pages of English satire.
Wait, what is it?
Thank you.
Maybe
What is
they're
it?
cliff
3
notes
men in
on-
a boat?
3 Men in a Boat?
3 Men in a Boat.
Is that a dirty joke?
No.
That's 2 girls, 1
Hey, it
cup.
can be, depending on where.
Yeah, before I Google this, is this a joke?
No.
No, I just found it on the list. I see it.
There's like a lot of 3 Men in a Boat. To say nothing of the dog, Men on the Bummel.
It's included on Audible.
This is Jerome. Yeah.
It's on Audible, Billy?
Yes.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
6 hours and 39 minutes.
Oh, I'm actually going to be able to participate. Well, in theory, participate. I'll at least be able to do the book.
It's
It says
$3.99 on
series 3 Men book 1. I'm guessing we're just reading book 1.
Well, yeah, because I've seen 3 men in a boat to say nothing of the dog. 3 Men on the Bummel, but there's 3 men.
Nope. 3 Men in a Boat and to say nothing of the dog. 1889, straight up.
So Gutenberg.org just has it free as a PDF file.
Boom.
3 Men in a Boat to say nothing of the dog. $3.99 to download on Kindle.
Or
Just 3 men in a boat.
For
on
300
Gutenberg.
pages of
No
English
dogs.
humor.
I don't know.
I can get it as an audiobook at my library.
Have you ever read this before, George?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Can we figure out who picked it? Where is it? Does anybody remember anything about this?
Not me.
Not you. You're the only one that's ever read it in the group.
What's it near in the list?
It's between Rose and the Storm and Alan Dean Foster. They also picked Decline and Fall and Pearl Jam 10.
And what?
That is an
Hoadley?
excellent album.
Pearl Jam.
It's not Hoadley.
No, didn't he pick the AA book?
He picked Pearl Jam July 13th, 2003, Massachusetts.
I picked Pearl
And
Jam,
you-
Tim, but that's not my book.
And he was super early too. He was like number 4 or 3 or something.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
40s somewhere. All right, so Shay's gonna figure that out for us by the next meeting.
How come Oak doesn't know this? He knows all the random episodes and stuff.
Oak's been slacking. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Jeez, Oak. You disappoint me.
He used to know everything.
Geo seems to have a pretty intimate knowledge of all things.
Geo's my backup. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we should. He's not here, but
Geo knows everything that has to do with gang shows and long runs. I don't think that his expertise goes into Meet the Nation.
His expertise.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, somebody picked this, so I mean, there's got to be a reason. I hope it's just not someone that said they could never finish it.
It's 5 after me. So I just gotta look for mine.
I'm just working on it right now.
We need more people to play chess with.
That's a fact.
I need to start again.
Yes,
I
you
got
do.
overwhelmed with too many games. I need to just like play one person at a time since I don't know how to play.
And I think I might put out the show tonight or early tomorrow, just because I want to get it out for people that want to go do stuff. The New Year's, when did we record that? Was that Christmas gang show?
It was the Meet the Listeners.
Meet the Listeners. It's like 3 hours long too, so it's good.
Oh geez, I am behind. I have like
Awesome.
2 backlog Meet the Nations.
Although I'm fighting the urge to release the Amelia Boone.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
That's one.
Everything that I ever thought about her, I was wrong about.
Oh.
Crazy.
Yeah, totally changed my mind about everything.
I was really interested because, I mean, she seems, it's like, and I remember you guys discussing this in the gang show a long time ago, like, why do we care about her? Is it just because she's beautiful and she wins some stuff? And then, yay, like, what else? Like, there doesn't seem to be any more info out there about her. But I was really excited to hear that you were going to do the long run with her, because you have a way of getting people, like, to answer the questions. I don't know, like, it's not the same old shit. You're not asking about one race or like, how do you feel or whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think we talked much about running at all. Like,
that's awesome.
I don't think we got anywhere near it. We talked about what it was like to be a young lawyer and how she trained in Chicago and a lot of eating disorder stuff, because I think
I
that's
love that. Like, we get to know about her, not like about her career, which we could read about, you know.
Oh yeah, I think, and you know, the really funny thing is, so that I asked her about, you know, being in Chicago. She didn't go to Palos. How come you didn't go run on the trails? And she says, well, I joined the Flatlander group and I used to ask questions in there and stuff, but I never, I felt like I would be too slow or I'd be lame if I went to one of your group runs. And I just thought, oh, every Flatlander that's listening to this podcast is just going to be like, I could have been friends with Amelia Boone. Like, and then I went back and I looked and she's posting in the group and asking questions, and way back in 2015.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I never knew that. But yeah, it was good. I think you guys will really, really like it. But you got to
So
wait
when does the episode drop?
a week from Friday. So, and then I emailed Bert Kreischer for like the 3rd time today, because people were talking it up on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, I was trying to get him to respond, which those guys don't ever respond to anything, but
his
You
wife
need to get Jamil to email him for you.
Jamil?
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure during there was something where they were trying to get Bert to go to Javelina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've emailed with him before. It's just it's hard to like get him to commit to something, and you know.
You were close to getting him to come to a show when he was in
Really
Chicago.
close. Yeah, he was going to come to the house, but the thing.
Tommy doesn't have to wear a shirt.
Yeah.
He
So
does
him
not.
and John Sharp can hang out together.
and he doesn't have to do the machine joke.
Well, John Sharp's in love though too, so that adds another element.
He's in love with Kirshner?
A woman,
No, some woman.
Oh.
female.
She's a Christian.
Yeah.
They go to church together.
That won't last. The flavor of the year, basically.
How much time do we need to read 300 pages of old English humor?
Tomorrow.
Should we go 6 weeks? Holly
Yeah,
needs like a
probably.
month or like a year.
Is everyone gonna fall off the wagon again now that we have like a long book?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Really that
Illusions is a
long?
really easy read. So anything after this is going to seem really hard.
George, have you read this book before?
No, he said he hadn't.
Oh, okay.
No. So it'll be exciting. Just why? Look through the list. You know, something different. Looks like it's entertaining. So a little bit of effort in it. So you know, I can get through it. So it shouldn't be
I've
too
never
bad.
even heard anything about it. Nothing. All right. Well, Anything else anyone wants to add?
Change your Patreon name, Oak.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
Is that what you were so fired up about, Billy?
Yeah.
Why is your name Carrie Miller?
Probably
That's
his
my
wife.
wife. Yeah.
Oh.
I just didn't switch it.
Oh, was it something about Billy having herpes?
I think I heard that on the episode.
Yeah,
Is that true?
I thought you heard that.
That's what you get when you keep your buddy lights on.
I laughed hard when I heard that. That was so funny.
So Billy didn't want me to release the episode, and then he kept telling me about how bad it was and how bad he felt and how bad it was. And then you listened to it, and how did it go, Billy?
It's not so bad.
See?
Dude, it was good.
Terrible, but
That was
then-
an excellent show.
Yeah.
It was
I haven't
really
listened
good,
to it
Billy.
yet.
It's good, Billy.
Yeah, I loved it.
Well, here's the deal. It's like you get in the couch, like you sit down on the couch and it's like super comfortable. So then you get like super relaxed. And then like you're going like you got 50 million things going through your brain and you're thinking, holy shit, I'm like too relaxed. I can't do this. And then it's like, I don't know.
You're thinking way too hard about it.
I know, right?
This is like the guy who posted
off.
guy who posted about the Meet the Nation thing, and like then Scott said everyone emails him. It's just like you just do it. It's like when I was in college and I'd take a test. You just whatever comes to your mind, that's the answer, and then you move on and don't go back and second guess it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
I
one of the.
do know that the key to having good long runs is to like have a gang show the night before, because like Scott and I woke up and then we went for a run, and then it's just like, oh, I'm going to tell you my life story. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think Scott kind of has a way of getting that out of you anyway.
Well, but I think the best long runs were the day after that people came and stayed here, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and if you do a gang show and you have a little too much to drink and you start to trust everybody, and then you get up the next morning and kind of spill, it works. That's a great recipe.
Yep. You used your fucking voodoo on me and it worked. But I'm not very interesting, but I imagine like.
That's what everybody says.
Just to say, doesn't everybody say that?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a story.
Some people
Guess
even
so.
said it in the email saying that they would be on the show, but just so you know, not interesting.
I mean, I did it twice. I'm not interested.
Right?
That's why I took a while to email, because I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to talk about?
Well, where are you from? How'd you get into running? You know, it's the same questions everybody answers.
Yeah, it's just for the gang show, you got your 5 minutes to talk about that, and then you wedge yourself into the rest of the conversation when you can.
Yeah.
And you have fun. And that's all.
Yeah, I did the gang show via Zoom, and so that was really interesting. But yeah, just like Kyle was saying, you just have your little bit that you talk, and you might be a little nervous, but I mean, hell, we know all these guys. We've been chatting with them for months over Zoom, so it's a lot easier now.
That was the one thing
You got the vaccine, so you can tell us what it's like to become a zombie and an alligator.
Yes.
I am looking forward to the transformation. It's gonna be entertaining.
Which one are you taking, the Moderna or the Pfizer?
I got the Moderna. We don't get a choice. When you walk in, you just get stabbed with whatever they have on hand.
What do you do again, Tiffany?
I'm a nurse, but I'm actually not at the bedside. They just are like getting people in as fast as they can. So I was really surprised. Like a couple of my other colleagues have gotten it too that aren't at the bedside right now.
I bet that they're doing that so that when, things are bad, so if they need to call you in,
They actually can't mandate me because I'm not employed by the hospital either. It was really weird. Like, I think that what it is like they're just trying to juggle so many people in that they're just going through phone lists, or like they're going through this list of people. And so if somebody at the bedside can't get in, then they can get in somebody that's not, but they've still got a lot of people to do.
Holly wants it bad. She's pissed whenever anybody else gets one.
I'm sorry. If I'd had the choice, I would have said, give Holly it first.
No,
Holly
no.
needs it more than I do.
I
Oh, you have it yet, Holly?
I have not yet. I'm still waiting. I think it's just
What's the
more,
holdup?
dude, I don't know. I don't know. I feel
But
like
you're not employed by a hospital system, right?
correct.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the hospitals got given a lot more doses than probably
The health departments.
a
The
lot of other
holdup is
places.
living in the third largest city in the United States and not being a hospital worker.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a really slow rollout, and it's probably just a mess. I mean, they're dealing with the biggest health crisis of all time and trying to give a vaccine to all these fucking people. So I get it. It's just gonna take some time.
That's why it's funny when people are like, they're not going to make me take it. And I'm like, nobody's going to make you take it right now because there's enough people that want it that you're not even going to be a thought if you don't want it.
Yeah, I'll take whoever doesn't want it. I'll take theirs.
They were saying on Twiv that at this rate, it will take what was it?
I thought it was 12 years.
Yeah, 6 years to vaccinate the world or something, or the United States. I can't remember what it was, but it was like they're just going so slow to get people vaccinated. It's just not working.
Does that assume though that everybody takes it?
I don't know. It was like they were given like 10 million vaccines were made, and they've only gotten shoved in 1 million arms. So it's like they have a where are these 9 other million vaccines, and why aren't they getting put into arms?
You know, that'll pick up though, because
Wow.
other companies like Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca are now completing their vaccines.
Yeah,
So
I feel
if
like
you're private, you can call the hospital.
Distribution is going to get better.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like people like Walgreens and CVS, like they're gonna eventually give all that stuff out too, right?
I got an email today from Jewel grocery store saying we're going to have the vaccine soon. If you'd like updates, enter your email or something. So
Yeah.
a lot of these places feel like they're going to get it soon.
I think a
That's
big
just a
thing
marketing push.
as like with the Pfizer one, which is the first one that rolled out, was the transportation temperature and the storage temperature, which is basically minus 80 degrees Celsius, which is a common storage temperature for things in life sciences, but it's unattainable for people in places like Jewel and CVS and Walgreens to have those ultra low freezer temperatures. So with the Moderna coming out, and then if other companies come out with them that are more shelf stable at room temperature or even just refrigeration temperatures, that'll be a big deal. So
yeah,
I think that'll be a good.
Well, and it's interesting to me as a shareholder that I keep getting these news articles where somebody bought $1.6 billion worth of Moderna vaccine. North Korea just bought 40 million doses. Australia bought doses. You know, it's just like left and right. People are just buying. They're doing contracts to buy as much as they can.
Well, the rich school district in Denver apparently has already sent out information to their teachers about it coming soon. So I don't know. Who knows? I don't know how they decide that, but it was interesting to me that the only teachers I've heard from in the state who have heard anything are from the district that's got the money.
Yeah, and actually I heard that's very funny that you say that, because I heard today that one of the clinics that IBGI has, that's the one that makes all the money, they're getting like vaccines secured from a physician who works at a North Shore hospital. So it's like different people in my company are going to get an opportunity before it's just so bananas. It just doesn't even make
Are
any
they
sense.
also physical therapy or what are they?
Yeah, there are PTs and OTs, but it's
Okay.
just said like the physician has like a special connection with this North Shore fucking bullshit hospital. And so this
You want to
other
hear
bigger
some bullshit?
what?
my husband's cousin is a PT at our hospital here, and she is going. Actually, she left I think yesterday. Her and her family and like her husband, her mother-in-law, kids, their kids' boyfriends and girlfriends, and all that, going to Aruba for a vacation, and the vaccines were coming in this week, and she asked to be put at the front of the line so she could get the vaccine before she went.
Wow.
And that just chaps my ass. Here she is, being careless. And she's like, oh, I'd like that though before I go on vacation. Like, no, get to the back of the fucking line.
Chaps your ass.
Everybody else, go fuck yourself. Jesus.
It doesn't sit well with me, I'll say.
Hey, you know what? It's not fair, and that's life, right?
Well, like here you are wanting to get it because, you're genuinely concerned and trying to do the very best thing for your patients.
Maybe that's why I struggled with the book, because I feel like I have zero control over my life right now. And so that notion that you can make it whatever it is, maybe that's why the book didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, but you're not alone. It's everybody. We're all in
Yeah.
that, and it's been feeling this way for months.
Yeah.
So it'll get better. You'll get it.
Just be glad you're not Jada with the chapped ass.
What?
Just be glad you're not Jada with the chapped ass.
That's right. You don't want that.
I'm gonna use that because that's awesome. That really.
This-
Have you never heard that?
No, I love it.
This book club brought to you by Ass Caps.
Ass chaps.
Ass
Wait.
Ass chaps.
All right, so
chaps.
one more thing I want to know about, and that's this loop that Mindy Duncan did where she went like around, it looked like you went around the ocean on bridges and
We're walking on water.
what in the fuck was that? And how did we go do that?
It's
Around the
always
bay,
less-
Mindy. Well done, man. That thing's awesome.
Thank you. It's around Chattahoochee Bay, down near Destin, Florida. We ran through Niceville. You just start over on Okaloosa Island and run through Destin, and then across the Mid-Bay Bridge, which is almost a 4-mile bridge. And then that takes you into Blue Water and Niceville area, and then through Fort Walton Beach and back. So just
Is this
circle
a
around the
thing,
bay.
this loop that you did? I mean, is it something you guys do?
It's called Round the Bay Ultra. It's the end of every year. Usually it's on a Saturday. This time it was a Sunday, just because I
Oh,
guess
so this was an event. You don't just go do this for fun.
this was an event, but it's usually a relay. So I think there was only it is a relay. So there's a lot of relay teams that do it, but then they offer it as an ultra. So they had, I think, 30 of us that did it as an ultra. And so it's a small town local race, but it's just always a good time and, just a fun group of people. So
Are there places to stop and get food and drink and bathrooms?
they had 3 set up aid stations, just
I mean,
basic
if
stuff.
there wasn't a race.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like doing turkey trot, but
It was
more.
like
But
a
you don't go
real
through.
race.
Pardon?
It was a real race.
It was a real race. Yes. It was a real one. So, all the ultras, all the people that did the ultra got a growler to go get filled up at the local brewery after.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's pretty cool. So.
Did you see the route on the Strava, Holly?
I did. Yeah. It was like just ocean.
I want to go run that.
Yeah.
Down anytime. Hey, whenever we can fly again, you got Allegiant that flies you down here for like $40 one way. So
That is true.
Nice.
Cool.
Where are you at down there, Mindy?
Near Destin, Niceville, Florida. So it's just basically if you go across the bridge from Niceville, that Mid-Bay Bridge takes you to Destin, Florida.
Sounds like Desitin.
I
almost got arrested in
It
Destin,
smells
Florida.
better.
You know about
So
the donut?
I'm basically between Pensacola and Panama City, Florida. So
It's the panhandle, really close
Panhandle.
to. It's what most of Floridians don't consider part of Florida.
right, we're Lower Alabama. We're at LA.
Yeah.
Lower Alabama.
So my parents used to live in Alabama in the winter. That's where I would fly into was that area, Destin, Pensacola.
I didn't think I'd ever say this, but I can't wait to take a shitty Allegiant flight down to Florida again. Like,
I can't wait to take one to St. Louis, hopefully in a
Yeah,
few months.
yeah, we have direct flights out of our little airport to like 3 or 4 places in Florida, and it's great. But the flight sucks. But
Someday
Last time I
soon.
was on a plane was a year ago today.
Dang.
it's been almost a year for me. We went to Florida at the end of January last year.
We went on a run in an open space that kind of goes into Wyoming. So we like sort of were like took like 5 steps in Wyoming and then crossed back into Colorado. But other than that, I've lived in Colorado for 10 years and this is the first year I haven't left the state.
Last year at this time, I was getting ready to go to Australia, which turned into Mexico, and I was learning about the coronavirus.
Oh yeah, when we went to Florida, my my stepdaughter's ex threw a fit because we took our granddaughter to Florida because he was like, there's this COVID and everybody's gonna get it. And or actually he was just calling it, I guess we were just calling it coronavirus at that point. And I was like, this stuff gets talked about all the time in the medical community. It's gonna be fine. Stop freaking out. We'll be fine going to Florida. We went at the perfect time.
All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap. Till next
Did we
time.
pick a date?
But
an
yeah, when are we
official
doing
date?
it? Did we pick a date?
We said 6 weeks because it's a longer one and it gives
February
Holly
10th?
at least a chance.
6 weeks. I feel like that's a little long. No.
300 pages can be easily done in a month. I
All
would
right,
think.
let's go a month. Let's go.
I'm good with a month.
It's a short January.
January 27th?
That's not even a month though. That's like
That's 4 weeks away because that's when I'm getting my second vaccine.
let's go the 3rd. One more week.
Bragging about the vaccine.
So then after she gets her second vaccine, we'll know if she really turns into an alligator.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
keep you
that's
all
true.
updated on the alligator zombie side effects.
Will be a
Because we're
week after
definitely
too.
watching.
All right, so January 3rd, 3 men in a boat.
February 3rd.
February 3rd, 3 men in a boat. Have an open mind. Might be good.
And by tomorrow, I'll figure out who picked it and I'll post it. Because I found who
So then
did
we
the
know
one
who to
before
shame.
and the one after. So we'll know soon. I think it's in a long run.
Yeah, I think there should, because I'll put this up in the YouTube channel. I think there should be a segment of this where we're all talking shit about whoever it is that picked the book if we don't like it. Cool. All right. Well, Happy New Year. Good night.
See you
everyone.
next year.
Happy New Year.
Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Night off.
Bye, guys.
You know,
Bye.
Everybody be safe.
Bye.